As Alexis Sanchez prepares to leave Arsenal, the stage is set for the arrival of another controversial striker. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is the man set to fill Sanchez's boots at the Emirates, with the Gunners moving ever closer to a £53 million deal for the Borussia Dortmund frontman. The 28-year-old Aubameyang has been brilliant for Dortmund in recent years, his electric pace and prolific goalscoring delighting the Borussia faithful. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang could be heading to Arsenal in a £53 million transfer. Aubameyang is in line to replace Alexis Sanchez, who seems set for Manchester United. His poor discipline and repeated flirtations with a move away, however, have seen him undergo a remarkable fall from grace in recent months. Last week, his absence at a team meeting earned Aubameyang his third internal suspension in 14 months, and seemed to be the final straw in an already strained relationship between player and club. Arsene Wenger is said to have his reservations, but Arsenal's new super scout Sven Mislintat is a big fan of Aubameyang. It was he who brought him to Dortmund in the first place. So what can the Gunners expect? Sportsmail has the lowdown on the divisive Dortmund striker, who is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Having come through the ranks at AC Milan, Aubameyang impressed at Saint Etienne before making his name at Dortmund. Arriving in 2013, the striker initially played second fiddle to Robert Lewandowski, but became the main man when the Polish striker moved to Bayern Munich a year later. Armed with astonishing pace, the rumor goes that he is faster over 30 meters than Usain Bolt, and canny movement. He has netted 141 goals in 212 appearances for Dortmund, Bundesliga top scorer with 31 goals last season. He has already scored 13 this term. Aubameyang has netted 141 goals in 212 appearances for Dortmund since arriving in 2013. What is he like off the pitch? Aside from his pace and his goals, Aubameyang is known as quite a showman. With a penchant for fast cars, extravagant haircuts and flashy attire, his somersault celebrations are part of the same parcel. While his love of superheroes has also seen him celebrate by donning Spider-Man and Batman masks at the best of times. All this is part of Aubameyang's appeal. They are the off-field extensions of his broad grin and hedonistic football. When times are bad, though, his extravagances are, perhaps unfairly, seen as further proof of his chronic ill-discipline, selfishness and vanity. As his recent indiscretions have built up, it is the latter view of Aubameyang which has prevailed. Off the pitch, the 28-year-old Aubameyang has a reputation for being quite the showman. Aubameyang's extravagant and flamboyant celebrations are all part of his overall appeal. Has he earned his bad boy image? There are undoubtedly a lot of lazy clichés drawn about Aubameyang and his extravagance, but it has become increasingly hard to defend him in the last year or so. Like Sanchez at Arsenal, he has openly pushed for a move away from Dortmund, telling both fans and journalists about his desire to move to Real Madrid, AC Milan and Paris Saint-Germain. Further indiscretions in the last year and a half include an unauthorized trip abroad on the eve of a league fixture, inviting a Red Bull-sponsored freestyler to Dortmund's training ground for a film shoot, and repeatedly arriving late to training. Aubameyang's consistent disregard for internal club rules has exasperated his bosses and bred resentment among his teammates, who feel he is given special treatment. Aubameyang has publicly pushed for a move away from Dortmund like Sanchez at Arsenal, so Dortmund won't fight to keep him. It certainly seems that the relationship between club and player has now deteriorated beyond repair. Zorc has said that he can no longer tolerate Aubameyang's current behavior, while coach Peter Stoger also voiced open concern. From the moment it becomes dangerous for the group as a whole and internal structures, it becomes difficult, said the Austrian. On the other hand, Dortmund know only too well that they are heavily reliant on Aubameyang and his goals, despite causing trouble. Dortmund know they are reliant on Aubameyang's goals. Their dramatic collapse under Peter Bosz in the autumn coincided with a sustained goal drought for the Gabon striker, and they cannot afford to find themselves in the same position again this season. Nonetheless, Dortmund are expected to sell if Arsenal or anyone else are willing to cough up the asking price. What will he bring to Arsenal? Aubameyang's pace is mesmerizing and he is an instinctive goalscorer, but he is heavily reliant on good service for Dortmund. He has always been at his best when he has teamed up with the likes of Marco Reus, Ousmane Dembele or Henrik Mkhitaryan. His brilliant positioning and sharp movement mean he is almost unstoppable when coupled with an intelligent winger or attacking midfielder. Left to his own devices, however, he has his limitations. He lacks the incision to create chances for himself, and often fluffs his lines in one-on-one situations. At the age of 28, it is the perfect time for Arsenal to make a move to sign Aubameyang. If there is any good time to sign him, however, it is now. Aubameyang is arguably at his peak, and though he is a rung or two short of being world-class, he is likely to remain one of Europe's most prolific strikers over the next few seasons.